I'm a Demoman main, and in this video I want to give some tips for newer Demoman players on how to fight the other classes. So without further ado, this is how to fight every class in TF2 as Demoman and win.
Oh, you're a wee little miss, you are!
The best man won, you bomb-throwing drunk!
Scouts are extremely difficult to deal with as Demoman, and I would call them your hard class counter, due to how hard it is to hit a class as fast as Scout with your projectile weapons, and also because his scattergun can kill you so quickly when he gets close to you. Now sure, sometimes a Scout will move poorly and you'll be able to easily kill him, but the majority of the time, Scouts will win the 1v1 fight against you. Scout likes to fight at close range, and Demo likes to fight at medium range, and Scout has the ability to get into close range. Most of the time he'll see you as a free kill, and sadly, most of the time he's correct. Especially when there's a fucking squad of them attacking. Now let's talk about what you can do to prevent the rushdown. If you see a Scout about to charge you, you can backtrack while placing sticky bombs in the areas you think they want to run. This can scare them off because they don't want to run over sticky bombs, and at the very least it will buy you some time. If you can, try to fight inside small enclosed areas, like inside buildings or CP Dust Bowl. Scouts can't use their high mobility in these areas, making it much easier to hit them with sticky bombs and pipe bombs. Notice here, for example, the Scout moving into a smaller enclosed area makes it easier for me to hit him with sticky bombs. Also, if you know a good Scout is running around, try staying close to your team. It's a lot harder for him to run up to you and kill you if you have your teammates nearby.
Lot of good that soldier training did you? I love your death, Cyclops.
Both Soldier and Demoman are comfortable fighting at medium range, so this can be quite an even fight. When fighting at this range, I like to start my fights against soldiers with sticky bombs, and once I know they have 100 or less health, I try and finish them off with a pipe bomb. This is quite easy since their movement speed is slow. Remember that Soldier is also somewhat comfortable fighting at close range, and a lot of Soldier players know that Demomen are not good at fighting at close range and will simply jump at you to get the kill. If he tries this, you can shoot sticky bombs where you think he will land, for some nice damage. Another option is trying to hit him in the air with a pipe bomb, although this is difficult. Move unpredictably when a soldier is in the air, so you aren't an easy target for rockets and market gardens. But in general, Soldier versus Demo usually comes down to who is aiming well, who is strafing well, and who has their medic girlfriend online constantly giving them Ubers.
Burn in hell!
In my opinion, the Pyro matchup is very dependent on where the fight is taking place. Demoman is obviously good at medium range, and Pyros out in the open normally aren't that difficult to deal with. But if they manage to ambush you, or otherwise get close to you, this is when they become a problem. Because, and I'll say it again, Demoman does not like to fight at close range. Try and be ready for the ambush. As you move around choke point heavy parts of the map, place a sticky bomb or two where you think the Pyro will attack from. Then, if one does appear, you can detonate the sticky and finish them off easily. But if a Pyro does catch you unawares, your sticky bombs are going to be too slow, so you're going to have to go for 2 clean pipe shots. You'll probably still die from the afterburn and the self damage, but it's still the best option. Remember that Pyros have air blast, so if you shoot them at mid-range with a pipe, you're just asking for them to reflect it back at you. Instead, try and use sticky bombs at medium range, unless you have absolutely no other choice. One last thing about air blast. Don't forget that Pyros can air blast you off the map, which is always embarrassing.
Welcome to the dominating! Bloody hell!
Since you are both using the same weapons, there aren't that many tips I can give you for the Demo versus Demo matchup. If your aim and movement are better than your opponent's, then you win, but if they aren't, then you lose. That's just how it goes. If you find yourself struggling against enemy demos, the best advice I can give you is just to practice. As your movement and accuracy improve, you'll find yourself naturally doing better against enemy demos. Just don't walk into choke points that are obviously being watched by enemy demo men, like this clueless idiot does, and you'll be fine. Now, there is another type of demo you might meet while playing this game, and they can be a lot more.
I've got your medic right here.
Yeah, it's this guy. Demo Knights can be quite dangerous for demo men, since their strategy of charging into melee range and holding M1 is very effective. Having said that, it is their only strategy, so if they mess up their charge, they aren't much of a threat anymore. So the best way of dealing with Demo Knights is to knock them off course while they're charging. This is the best way of keeping a Demo Knight off you, or better yet, off the map.
Dominated, you blubbery Bolshevik!
One of Demo's biggest weaknesses is that he struggles to hit faster enemies with his weapons. But when you're fighting heavies, that weakness is essentially negated, since they are so slow and easy to hit. So a good chunk of the time, fighting heavies is pretty easy, as all you have to do is just mindlessly spam stickies at them until they're dead. This is even easier if you catch them eating, by the way. Having said that, don't underestimate Heavy's damage, as he can kill you very quickly if you run into him unprepared. If you do run into him, switch to pipes and try and kill him quickly. You might just be able to kill him before he kills you. Also remember that all of Heavy's damage is hit scan, so if you stay out of his line of sight, you can spam him safely.
Don't hide behind your toys, lad!
That just ain't right.
Believe it or not, the Demolitions Man is the best class for demolishing engineers' buildings. So how would you do it? Well, this is super basic stuff, but the most consistent way of destroying a sentry gun is to shoot 2 or 3 stickies at the gun and detonate them all at once so the engineer has no chance to repair it. NGs normally stay close to their sentry guns, so usually this kills the engineer as well. However, if it doesn't, make sure you finish them off and the rest of their nest as well, so they can't just rebuild. Now obviously, if you run a sentry gun without Uber, you're just going to die, so you need to either shoot it while outside of its vision, or duck in and out of cover while shooting it. You can also stand outside of the sentry gun's range and spam it with pipes, although this is less reliable. The only effective counter NG has to your spam is the Wrangler, as the shield allows it to tank a huge amount of damage. Which is completely balanced, by the way. If an engineer is using the Wrangler, you need to kill the engineer first, then shoot stickies at the sentry and detonate after the shield disappears. Finally, if you are fighting against a battle engineer, remember that one sticky or one pipe will destroy a mini sentry. So keep his sentry down and he shouldn't be too difficult to deal with.
I dominate, you sawbones!
This is unacceptable.
Medic is the strongest class in the game because of the insane support abilities they give to a team. Even with Demoman's high damage, killing an overhealed power class is difficult, and if they pop an uber charge, you have even less chance. For this reason, killing medics should always be your top priority. Remember, it's always worth it to kill a medic. Even if you die right after, even if you have to jump into the enemy team to kill the medic and die right after, do it. Killing the medic is always worth it. A medic losing all uber progress is a massive blow to the enemy team, and there's no better feeling than seeing that +2 when you make them drop uber. Oh yeah, baby. Now normally, you don't really fight medics, you just kinda shoot at them as they strafe around and hope their patient can kill you before you kill them. The only time a medic will directly fight you is when they are alone and they feel like they have no other choice, or they think they can get some uber charge off you with the uber saw. Either way, they aren't too difficult to deal with. Just knock them away with sticky bombs, or if you're feeling dangerous, you can try and finish off a damaged medic with your melee weapon. Eventually you are going to have to deal with a medic's uber, and in these situations it's usually best to just fall back and wait for it to end. Although there are a few proactive actions you can take against a Ubered target. If they pop stock Uber, you can still use stickies to knock them around. Plus, if they are distracted by something like a sentry gun, you can shoot a bunch of stickies at their feet and detonate as soon as the Uber ends, hopefully killing them. On the other hand, if it's crits, you can try and kill the medic before his patient kills you, but of course, this is a big risk.
Everybody bloody hates you!
Yeah, that seems about right.
So now we get to the terror of the bot crisis, Sniper. Demoman has no long-range weapons, so a lot of your fights with Sniper are just you dying to him while he stands outside of your range. You could try strafing from left to right to avoid the sniper's shot, but this doesn't really work against good snipers. Instead, you should try and close the distance between you and the sniper so you can effectively fight him. There are two ways of doing this. The first way is to flank the sniper's sightline. Maps typically have strong sniper sightlines, but also have routes you can take to avoid those sightlines. Well, most of them do. Needless to say, this takes map knowledge, as you need to learn the sniper sightlines and their flank routes. Take this point on pier for example. Snipers love to watch this long sightline that the cart has to go through. So instead of going into the sightline, you can jump on the roof of this building to the right and flank the sniper. The other way of getting close to a sniper is sticky jumping towards him. This takes practice of course, but I find it more reliable than the flank option once you get good at it, since you get closer to the sniper much faster and, because of sniper's tunnel vision, they might not even notice you jumping at them. Whichever way you choose, once you are near the sniper he doesn't stand much of a chance against you. Just watch out for the Jurati Bushwhacker combo.
Spy, what is this drawing? That's my persona. You're fucking what?
A good spy can be very scary to go against. However, they are also the class whose effectiveness can be drastically reduced with a bit of awareness and communication. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's a few things you can do to counter a spy. When not in combat, periodically turn around and see if a spy is moving in to backstab you. Spy check suspicious looking teammates. Listen out for decloaking and backstab sounds. And finally, if you see a spy, make sure you let your team know. Spy at the cart.
Shut the fuck up, you!
Anyway, if you're hunting for a spy, the sticky bomb launcher is a great weapon for finding them, due to its high magazine size, allowing you to search a large area. Try and predict the spy's movement, and keep an eye out for things that give spy away, such as doors opening seemingly by themselves, or classes moving at incorrect speeds. If you do catch a spy, chances are he would just try and escape from you, which is the correct choice, because while Spy's revolver is powerful, you nearly always beat him. However, remember not to get into a melee fight with him, as you are just going to get trick stabbed. The last thing to remember about dealing with spies is spy capping. When a point is close to being captured, spies like to sneakily decloak next to it so they can capture it themselves. Therefore, you should always sticky trap points that are close to being captured. Well, that's all of them. Thank you so much for watching. I worked really hard on this video, so it means a lot to me that you've watched the whole thing. I want to give a big shout out to both the Trigger Happy Gamer and RUGC community servers, where the majority of the footage for this video was captured, both of which have fantastic communities and have kept me playing this ancient game for many years. Goodbye now.